What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for roster update number 5. We're going to review this one, and it's a banger. I always say that because most of them are, but this one's truly a banger. It is the gold rush that we thought it could be. It really popped off. We got 4 new diamonds and I think 20 or 21 new golds. All sorts of great stuff. And I'm really excited to kind of go through it here. Let's go ahead and move me down there and get rid of the scoreboard right now because there aren't going to be any scores. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. By the way, we are doing this live on twitch.tv/Spore. Come through every other Friday or Thursday, whenever the roster update is. It's usually Fridays. Sometimes they move it to Thursday, and we review the whole thing. So let's get started. We see Ohtani gets a +1, gets a little walk rate boost. Strikeouts go down a little bit. Might have gotten hitting too. We don't really know, but either way, he continues to be upgraded into the god that he is, best player in baseball. Corbin Burnes gets nooched. He does get a little love, though, a little clutch and a little K, so he goes up, but it doesn't move his overall. It's still even better, though. Justin Verlander nooched. Understandable. His Ks really haven't been there. He's pitching brilliantly. Nothing wrong with how he's pitching, but this is not, the card doesn't really measure ERA. It measures the skills that go into your ERA. And 8.9 Ks is kind of mediocre in today's game, so that's why he's down to a 66. I totally get it. Shane McClanahan, 2 more points, just an absolute monster. I considered keeping mine last week or 2 weeks ago when he went, but I needed the stubs, so I kind of gave away a little bit there. That's okay though. He's amazing. We still profited on him for sure, but now he's at a quick sell, 7,000. So if you held through the first diamond, it's paying off nicely now. Cole went down. Remember, he got blasted there. What was it? 5 homers against Minnesota. We knew that was going to eventually be reflected, and there you go. Clayton Kershaw down 1 as well. I'm getting word in my chat that Ohtani did have +9 contact versus righties, +5 power versus righties, -5 power versus lefty, +1 vision, -3 discipline, and +13 clutch. Thank you for that, Zetters. I appreciate that. So yeah, Ohtani just stays winning. Kershaw down 1, Nola up 1, Musgrove up 1, so they keep trickling up. Again, if you held through their diamond to get those extra stubs, but I know a lot of people probably just sold. Unfortunately, Musgrove sold last night. Man, Philly roughed him up, which, I mean, Philly's good, so I'm not that surprised, but I thought he'd be all right. Maybe he was still feeling the effects of COVID. He had just gotten off the COVID list, so who knows. Carlos Rodon was a quick return to diamond. In fact, we had multiple guys like that lost their diamond and got right back. Actually, just 2. I had 3 on my list that could have done it, but one of the closers that I thought could get there did not get it. We'll talk about that at the closers. But Rodon gets back there. He deserved it. He turned right around and said, well, I'm a diamond still. Manoah gets nooched. It looks like they did a big clutch update, so there might be a few guys that kind of sneak into another level that I missed because I didn't know this was going to be the big clutch update. So we'll see. I definitely think that's going to be the case with some of the golds because I didn't have 20 new golds. I think I had 23 guys that were 79 or better though. So a lot of those same guys that I probably had it at 79 got there, but that's fine. I don't mind being like 1 shy as long as I'm encouraging y'all to invest. If I'm wrong by 1 and you still had your shares, it's all good. Zach Wheeler goes +1. Kind of had this one. I wasn't even sure if he was 100% going to get this, but he does get there. He is destined for diamond. Just hang on. Zach Wheeler's pitching brilliantly lately. The biggest issue was he had to basically have his spring training in game. Remember, he didn't get his season started till late, so his first few starts were his ramp up, and so he was a little bumpy there. But now he's pitching like the diamond that he was last year. Sandy got nooched. I did see this one coming. I just didn't think there was enough there, particularly with the K rate not really showing out. And I thought maybe the walk rate could do it. And as you can see, he did get a +2, but everything else kind of offset it. He did get a little bit more stamina as well. Just hang on with Sandy. I'm diamond hands with him 100%. Max Fried gets a +1, setting up a potential diamond for him. He's actually a lot like Sandy. In a lot of ways, he's not as known for the volume because he hasn't had a full 190 type season yet, 190 innings, but He was tracking toward that last year. A couple of knick-knack injuries got to Fried, but I think he's got a great opportunity to be one of the bigger workhorses this year. Put up 190 plus innings. He's not a huge strikeout guy, but everything else he does is really strong. So if he gets the diamond, it'll likely have to come via the hits and walks unless he has a random K spike. Cortez gets nooched. Just didn't really see it coming this week. You can see he did get +1 on the walk rate, but lost the strikeouts and hits. Just hang on with Cortez. If you're invested in him at this point, you might as well stick around once he's at an 84. There's no sense jumping off this train at this point. Because even if he has like a terrible period and we think he's going to get downgraded, you can get out before then. So no need to really worry. I would just hang on and see. Puts up another couple good starts, he will get diamond eventually. Gausman loses diamond, understandable. He hasn't been bad, but he has been wobbly over several of his last few. So he takes a hit. He can definitely get back there. We'll keep a close eye on him. And they have shown now with Rodon and the closer we're going to talk about in just a moment. Sorry, I got a dog hair that's like in my peripheral vision. It's like barely hanging down from my hat. But yeah, we saw that they are open to sending a guy right back to diamond 2 weeks later if they deserve it. So keep an eye on Gausman. If he pops off for 3 starts here, then we can get him right back in there. Gallen gets nooched. Did I have Gallen for +1? No, I didn't. So his nooching is fine. He did get a big clutch boost. And by the way, this is a good indicator that clutch doesn't necessarily move the needle big time, because +11 is a pretty big move, and he only lost 2 on the hit 9. So either he was like the lowest 83 ever, sorry about that, or clutch just doesn't quite move the needle the way other categories do, because usually a +11 that isn't negated by anything substantial, like a -2 is the only thing that got hit, would usually be worth +1, but it's not in this case. Pablo Lopez loses 1. Not worried. Basically he's following a lot in the footsteps of his teammate Sandy as well. Again, lower Ks, but does very well in everything else. He'll go as far as the shoulder will take him. If he's staying healthy, I think he'll get back to diamond. I'm not too worried about it. He just doesn't quite get it this week. Dylan Cease, my buddy Nick Pollock calls him a cherry bomb, like the ultimate cherry bomb. Sometimes sweet, or mostly sweet, but sometimes blows up in your face, because his volatility with his command can sometimes breed those bad starts. That's how you get a 2.25 ERA but a 1.28 WHIP, because sometimes your walk rate gets you in some trouble, but you're so dominant with your strikeout stuff that you can get out of jams. Every once in a while, you can't get out of the jam. You give up a few runs, and we've seen a few blow-ups from him, but mostly excellent. I still think Dylan Cease has a great opportunity to go diamond this year, so if you're invested, hang on. Kopech is a bit more volatile, and he's got he has a deeper injury track record too that makes me a bit more nervous than Cease. They're pretty similar, and obviously since they're both at 82, even though Kopech did lose 1 while Cease gained 1, they're both in the diamond realm. I believe a lot more in Cease just overall because I worry about Kopech's health. He's had some chronic things. He's had multiple different things. I think they're more concerned with managing his innings too, making sure they don't overtax him. Whereas Cease, I think they see him as their next frontliner. I think they're kind of mentally passing the torch from Giolito to Cease as their ace. Giolito's still great, by the way. I'm not too worried about him. He has been giving up a lot of homers, but I don't think he's cooked or anything like that. I still think he's very, very important to their success. And if he figures out sort of the fastball command and some of his secondary stuff, I'm sure we'll see Giolito on a downgrade here, I think. Or maybe not. I guess his last start was when the update was already locked, right? I think it was Wednesday. But anyway, between these two, Cease and Kopech, I would invest more in Cease. Kopech, just be careful. He's got more volatility than Cease. Kyle Wright gets +1. He had a little bit of a rough start yesterday against the Giants. But one thing I've really liked is that even when Kyle Wright has his tougher outings where things are a little bumpy, he's really good at rebounding and kind of, softening the bleeding a little bit, softening the blows, cutting off the bleeding. Because he'll have outings where the first couple innings you're like, oh my God, he's going to give up 8-9 runs if he keeps pitching like this. And he ends up kind of coming out of it. And that's what I saw with the recent start against San Francisco. He did allow a ton of hits. I think he allowed 10 hits. But it was only 4 earned because he was able to kind of get out of some of his jams. Some of that's going to be luck. Plain and simple. You get out of jams often. Some of it you're just skating. But other times, there are certain guys that are good with pitching with runners on and can pitch in those tight situations, and so they are able to get themselves back into a corner and then fight their way out of it. Having good strikeout stuff certainly helps that, and he's a pretty good strikeout guy. So his last 2 starts, 21 hits in 11 and a third. So don't expect Wright to be setting himself up for a upgrade next time, unless his next couple starts are quite good, because the 10-hit outing from San Francisco yesterday will be on the next update. My boy Skubal hit his first rough patch of the year. He's had 3 tough ones in a row. The Texas one's the real bummer because Texas isn't that good, and they kind of roughed him up a good bit. Boston and Toronto, I'm not as surprised about or worried. Hey, those are great teams. They get you. You tip your cap and you move on. His home run rate was always going to regress. It was off the charts amazing. He was always going to have a little bit of comeback there. That's what we've seen over these last 3. I'm not worried about Skubal, both from a fantasy standpoint or from an MLB The Show standpoint. I'm going to hold here. I'm going to go diamond hands on Skubal. I think he's going to rebound and be just fine. Frankie Montas got a -1. He did have a brilliant start yesterday, though, setting himself up for a strong period. A couple more good starts, and we could have ourselves somebody sitting right on the cusp of diamond. I do like Montas as a long-term investment. The Catman getting the gold. They're great offense, not a great team, Caged. Cage said, Paul calling Boston a great team. We're back, baby. Just the offense. I still don't trust the All's pitching at all. Gonsolin gets 2 points here into an 81. He's been pitching brilliantly this year. I do think low to mid gold is probably his peak, though. He doesn't have enough strikeouts, nor am I necessarily sure that he's going to consistently have a good enough walk rate to push himself to diamond. The walk rate would be the key, though. There is a world where if he is keeping the walks down consistently and doesn't have the random 4-walk game or the random 5-walk game, that he can get to diamond. It would be a long way off, though. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in him. I wouldn't necessarily invest for that. I would sell out here. He did have a 4-walk game against Pittsburgh, of all teams, and a couple 3-walk games back in April. Since then, though, he's had a really, really nice 8 walks in his last 7 starts. That is good for a 5% walk rate. That's really, really good. If you want it in per 9 terms, it's 1.7. So that's excellent. If he can maintain that for another, probably this next update and the one after that, then we could see diamond. So I give him a medium chance. I would prefer somebody like a Skubal. I would prefer Skubal, Montas, Wright, and Cease over Gonsolin, but then Gonsolin over Kopech. And I like Manaea. I think he is what he is, though. I think he's a 78 to 83 kind of guy. I think that's the kind of tier that Manaea lives in. I don't really see a great opportunity for diamond. He'd have to kind of hit perfectly where he has 3 brilliant starts right as an update is finishing, Like the last one would be on that Tuesday, and it's like a double-digit strikeout game. So I wouldn't invest for Manaea for diamond. Robbie Reagan gets +1. He's looking a lot more back lately. Between the guys that we're just talking about here, I would jump him over a Gonsolin as well. And you guys know I'm pretty tough on Robbie Ray. I'm not the biggest fan, but he does some of the key things that we want to see for an MLB The Show card, namely strikeouts. They were down a bit early this year. He took some big hits. He's down to a 65. He's starting to get that back a bit. We've seen flashes, especially toward the end of May. It did dip back off a little bit again here in early June, but then he struck out 10 Angels, 6 A's in 6 innings. I'd like to see more than 1 per inning, but I'll take what I can get there. Over his last 9 starts, Robbie Ray has a 30% strikeout rate. That's really, really good. Again, to put it in the per 9 terms, that is 11.1. That's better than a 65. So he should start trickling up in strikeout rate if he has another couple good games. It's going to take at least 2 updates for diamond, and his volatility will make it sketchy. So be careful. I'm not saying overinvest here, but I would rate him over Kopech, over Gonsolin, over Manaea. And I mean, probably with this Wright, Skubal, Montas group. I think he's in there with them because he's been there before too, and he's a reigning Cy Young, so he gets a little bit more favorability too. There is a little bit of, it's probably just innate bias in somebody who's been a diamond before, working their way back there. So I do think Ray has a good chance to have a big summer. So keep tabs on him. I do worry. As you can tell, I'm kind of couching it because I don't want people to go too crazy investing in him. But he's priced to buy, and he is a diamond candidate. Logan Gilbert gets nooched. I don't really see diamond for him. He's very good, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do any one thing extremely well. If anything, right now you see it's the hit suppression, but that's the toughest thing to bank on because you're not really in full control of that. So I don't think any of these 81s here would I necessarily invest in, at least not for the short term. Outside of Ray, excuse me. Put Ray aside, and then from Gilbert down. Javier gets -1, Bassett nooched, Darvish +1, Montgomery +2 into gold, Taillon +1, and McKenzie +1. So kind of ranking them as far as long-term diamond long shots. I would say Darvish, we know how great Darvish can be when he's on. So I would put him tops. Then Bassett, Gilbert. McKenzie has the skills, but he hasn't shown the health, and we don't know if his body can hold up to a full season of MLB starts. I say that as somebody with the exact body type. So definitely think that be careful. He has the talent. In fact, if I was going just off pitch for pitch talent, I would rank him #1 over Darvish of this group. But you have to take into consideration all the factors. So Darvish, Bassett, McKenzie, Gilbert, Taillon, Montgomery are interchangeable, and then Javier would be last. That's their diamond potential. And again, Ray on his own, Ray would go on this page here and be with this group of guys because he's been there before, reigning Cy Young, and can be a strikeout god when he's cooking. Beebs, 81. Does he have the strikeout stuff to get back to diamond? I mean, he's got enough. He's not quite at his previous strikeout heights, but I would put Bieber with Ray on this page here as far as diamond candidacy. He's been there before. He's got the skills to do it. So that's where I would put him. Same with Severino. I would also put him with the Ray on that 2 pages ago group. Michaelis just got into gold. He would be more with this group here, the more finesse type guys. Meaning they don't have a great chance. And he is the worst of that bunch in terms of skills because his strikeouts are so low. He's a very good pitcher. I'm not saying, when I say worst, I'm not critiquing his overall skill. But again, MLB calls for you to have strikeouts if you're really going to get to diamond. It's very difficult to get to diamond with that low of a K rate. So I just don't think Michaelis is going to get there. But he can push up within gold. Tyler Anderson gets into gold with a +2. Arias is a quick returner to gold with a +2. Arias, he's got sky high talent, but he hasn't been getting his strikeouts this year. I don't really know what to make of him. Normally I would consider him with that Bieber and Robbie Ray group, but he's kind of the bridge between the two groups right now because he's got the talent to be diamond. He's been there before, but he certainly isn't pitching like it. So do with that what you will. I don't really see diamond for Tyler Anderson, so I would not realistically consider it. Jeffrey Springs, he came out as a gold. Man, he's got to be very proud of that. If I'm Jeffrey Springs and I come out as a gold, definitely going to be proud of that. I'm going to be out and proud about being a gold, and I bet Jeffrey Springs is. I would not be surprised if he just took a lot of pride in that. Luis Garcia +1. He's getting there. Definitely a reasonable hold for gold. Obviously, I don't even really need to say you're a reasonable hold for gold if you're a 79. Duh. Even if I don't love your talent, if you're a 79, you're right there. And if you're invested in that player, you should be holding. Such as Strider. We know, if you might have missed it, last week when they did the off update, the one where they just do transactions and position changes, Spencer Strider got his change to SP plus a stamina boost. He went from 72 to 77. So he was a sneak silver, and then he did pretty well this period, except for his last start, but it didn't count for this update, and got himself right in position for gold. So I'm definitely holding for gold, even though this latest dud is going to be on this next update. I'm not going anywhere with Strider. A lot of us invested at common. Ain't no shot that I'm going to give up before he gets to gold, because he definitely looks like somebody who can go gold. And there's a world where I'm going to diamond hands it once he gets gold too and just ride it out. I'll probably sell a bunch because I do have a decent sample of him. I'll probably sell a bunch and then hold some for Diamond, just because if he can get that walk rate under control, which I guess pun intended there, but he kind of has a little bit too. If you look since April, he had the 1 5-walk spike at Colorado, and I would say some of that was planned because he only gave up 2 hits. He didn't give in some key spots. I think 2 of the walks were key, like, hey, I'm going to throw my pitch. If you don't swing at it, you can have your free base. I don't care. It wasn't because he was super wild. So I actually didn't mind those walks in Coors, but he's at a 3.3 walks 9 since May, which is not great, but it's definitely better than the 37. His season mark is 4.2 because April was rough for him. I keep saying May, Jesus. April, he had a 6.4 walk rate. That's pretty awful. And like I said, 3.3 since then. That's really good. After walking the 5 in Colorado, he's walked 1, 2, and 1, giving him a 2.4. So Strider is definitely going to go gold at some point this year. I feel very confident about that. And he will have a Diamond opportunity. Thank you, Calder. I'm glad you enjoyed it. If you know, you know. Luis Castillo gets nooched. I think he's got a great shot to get back to gold at some point this year. Remember how bad he was last year? I keep going back to Luis Castillo's last year because I really think one of Charlie Morton or Trevor Rogers is going to perform that feat this year, which is not a great feat to do. It's like, why back yourself into that corner? If y'all don't remember, through May last year, Luis Castillo had a 7.22 ERA. And it was like, what's going on? This guy was a high fantasy pick. Everyone was, he's an established guy. And he was just dreadful. And then from June 1st on, 2.73 ERA in 135 innings. He was an absolute god. And people were cutting him. And that's why I'm like, be careful if you cut Charlie Morton. He's been showing glimpses. And then lately, he's looked a lot better. And Trevor Rogers, I'm a little less confident in, but he could do the same thing. If the changeup comes together, he's going to take back off. And some of y'all might not be seeing a lot of excitement from the June 20th start from Trevor Rogers. I know we're on Luis Castillo and I'm doing a Trevor Rogers tangent, but stick with me here. 5 innings, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. You're like, oh, what's so special about that? 7 Ks, 24 swinging strikes out of 93 pitches. That is amazing, y'all. That is a brilliant, brilliant number. The changeup was getting a lot of whiffs for Trevor Rogers. So again, keep an eye on him. The reason I bring up Rogers and Morton again is because they could be this year's Castillo and get their shit back together big time. Kluber gets a +1. He's volatile, y'all. If you want to invest in him, be prepared for a potential roller coaster. It's not about skill. It's the health. And the fact that I feel like the days, if he's off and he gives up a few runs early, they know when to pull the plug. They're like, we don't want to push it. We want to save your health. Just get out of there. And so you can get like these quick 2-inning starts where you're like, what the hell? It's like, well, they knew he didn't have it, so they immediately cut bait. And so hopefully he can stay healthy. He should hit gold at some point this year, I would think. I think Kluber has the skills to get there. Just got to keep him upright. Nick Pavetta, man. Is Lucy letting us kick the football? Because we've been trying to make Nick Pavetta a thing for a little while in the fantasy community. Every time he'd string together 3-4 good starts, it's like, here it comes, because he's got really nice talent. And when he's on, he looks like a monster. And he's been pitching very well. He's up to a 78 now for Nick Pavetta. He's definitely in the hold for gold realm. That's as far as I would go right now. I got to get to gold with Pavetta before I would even talk about diamond chances. I'm sorry. I know I talked about Strider's diamond chances, and he's not gold yet. But I've just been down this road too many times with Pavetta. I'm too scared. Logan Webb has not quite been the stud that he was last year, but he is at 78, gets nooched right here. I do think he's got a great shot for gold. I'm holding for gold with him. Thor, Giolito, Rasmussen all get -1. Rasmussen's on the IL now, so you can dump your shares of him if you want, or just hold and ignore them until he comes back. Giolito, talked about him earlier. I'm not fully out here. I don't think you necessarily need to be invested in him, but as far as just kind of his general overall picture, it's rough right now, and it's 1,000% the home runs. 15 home runs in 63 and a third innings is a ton, y'all. And so that's the biggest issue right now. Some of it might be some bad luck. Home run to fly ball rate's pretty high and all that, but most of it isn't. He's getting hit hard. His hard contact rates are way up. His command is spotty. I mean, I'm sure he'd be able to diagnose his own problems. He's very in tune with what he does out there. Giolito basically built himself. I talked about this before. Don Cooper didn't do shit. Giolito kind of went outside of the organization to figure his stuff out and say, I got to get better. And he did, and he's been great. He's struggling a bit right now, but I'm not gonna give up on Giolito as a premier pitcher, a top two in a rotation type guy. Thor just doesn't have the strikeouts, y'all, and because of that, I can't really confidently hold for gold with him. If you had shares, I'm comfortable selling, even at 78. I know it's close, but I'm just not that confident. I am confident in my boy Joe Ryan. Big fan of his. I do think he can get 2 gold this year, even though he's not a major strikeout guy. He limits walks brilliantly. He's had 2 bad walk games. Frankly, I think they're doing him a little bit of a disservice at just a 64 with his walk rate, but maybe it's those 2 bad games kind of holding him back a little bit. He's at a 2.7 rate this year, and he had a 4 walk game his season opener against Seattle, and then 5 walks against Houston. Those are pretty decent teams. Like, Seattle is not amazing, but they've got solid talent, and Houston, of course, is very good. So he has 16 walks on the year. It says 15 there, but he's got 16 total because it doesn't include his last start where he had 1. 9 of them came in those 2 starts. So if he just avoids one of those implosions for a long while and, is walking 0, 1, or 2 through a bunch of games, that BB9 is going to go up and Joe Ryan's going to go gold. So he's an easy hold for gold for me. Martin Perez, you magnificent son of a bitch. He gets nooched, but he gets a nice little boost there on a couple of his categories, including the clutch. I'm not holding for gold. I'm sorry. I got to be the wet blanket. He is doing some things better. Absolutely. In fact, our own Nicholas Gout over at Fangraphs wrote up an article for him on the Rotograph side. Great piece highlighting some of the things that Perez has done well this year. That, it's not just blind luck. It's not just happening to him. So keep that in mind. Whenever somebody says, oh, this is unsustainable, it's coming back to earth, or at least somebody in the stat community that understands the underlying stats, they're not just saying this guy's garbage and he's not even good. You got to be doing a lot of things right to get a 196 ERA and a 113 whip for 14 starts. So I'm not here to undercut and say Perez is doing nothing well. But what he is doing is getting basically the best out of this skill set. He has not fundamentally changed who he is. The ground balls are up. That is a big change, but that's actually a reversion back to previous Martin Perez. He used to get ground balls all the time. Then he stopped doing it for a while, and now he's back up at 53%. His strikeout and walk rates are negligibly. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. I really, really do. They're not much better. How about that? Let's just go for a word I can actually say. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, strikeout rate's up 1 point. Walk rate is down 1 point. That's not nothing, but it doesn't explain why he's been so good. So why has he been so good? Home run suppression. And he does have some control over that. He is helping that. I mentioned the ground ball rate. He also has this cutter that's been doing very, very well and busting guys up. So he has been doing things to help. But the luck dragon will eventually run out. A 3% homer to fly ball rate, a .2 homer 9. That shit just ain't gonna last. It's not. I'm sorry. I gotta be the wet blanket. Historical data, we can look back at it. It tells us a lot about this game. And this profile just doesn't last as is. So, sorry to be the wet blanket. He won't be holding a 2.18 ERA all year. Or it's actually 1.96 right now. But enjoy it while he's doing it. The bottom line, the tough part though is, even with this great run, he probably won't even finagle a gold because he doesn't strike anybody out. And so unless they go in and hook up that home run rate, which I think that's kind of like the clutch, they could do a plus 20 on his home run rate. And I'm not sure it would give him more than 1 point overall because it doesn't move the needle at the same rate because it does not even a game playable metric. Homer 9 has no effect on MLB The Show Diamond Dynasty, just so y'all know. So don't ever draft somebody in BR because their Homer 9 is bad. It changes it nothing. Or because they're good. Don't not draft them because it's bad, and don't draft them because it's a good Homer 9. It doesn't matter. They tried it one year. We used to bang the drum like, why doesn't Homer 9 matter? I was big on it. I was like, they got to make some way that Homer 9 matters. Well, they tried it, and it ended up not going well. And to their credit, they realized it was a disaster, and they cut it. Basically, it was OP as hell. And so you'd have these hits that were like tracking big time. They were a homer, no doubt, off the bat. And then the Homer 9 would like kick in mid-flight, and this invisible wall would happen at the wall. It was like this force field, and it would just go straight fucking down. And you're like, okay, that's unrealistic. It was bad. So they tried, and I credit them for trying. That's all I wanted, was them to try to incorporate Homer 9. It didn't work. Maybe they're at the drawing board trying to come up with something else. But I appreciate that they admitted that didn't work. And they had to get rid of it because it was bad, y'all. You would blast a barrel, no doubter, and it would just go right at the wall, especially against the Signature Series Kershaw. Y'all remember. Hunter Green gets +2. His volatility will make him a very difficult guy to invest in. So you know what your patience level is. If you've got the stomach for it, he could definitely get gold at some point, but I'm not messing with it because when you have command like that, basically, you know, he's like a 35 command kind of guy on the 20/80 scale. 40 if you want to be generous, I guess. That's just going to breed crazy volatility. He's so exciting to watch. He's got a brilliant future, but as far as what we're doing here, I don't think so. They gave him 50 command on our prospect scouting report on Fangraphs. I wonder if they agree with that still, because I don't think he's got 50 command with a 2.6 homer per 9 and a 10% walk rate. And that was 50 present with 60 future. I think he's like 40 present. Maybe still has 60 future, but he's not a 60 command right now, or even a 50 in my opinion. Paul Blackburn, I mean, he's basically Martin Perez, exactly like that. So take everything I said about Perez and apply it to Blackburn. Soft tosser, having some good success. He's contributing to it, but also maximizing everything he's getting out of his skill set, including some good luck too, right? So just because it's unsustainable doesn't mean it's blind luck or that he's not doing anything well. He and Perez are both contributing to their success, but they're also running well too, right? When shit's popping off. It's like poker, you know. Sometimes the deck is hitting you, but you also have to play the cards right to maximize that. You know, a lot of us that play poker, we be like, oh, you know, the deck's hitting me. It's not me to try to be humble about it. But it's like, you know, you still got to do some things right. Sometimes the deck just takes care of you. But think about that too. That also works for the analogy. You can be playing some of your best poker. Things are going really well. And then you hit that perfect turn. So it's like you didn't have any necessary skill to hit a turn because you just got to go with the luck of the card, but you were doing things that put you in a good position to succeed. And so you hit that turn, you hit that river. That's basically what Blackburn and Perez are doing, right? Not only are they playing well, but shit's also really working out for them. They're not losing their coin flips. Let's say that. There's another poker phrase for you that probably crystallizes it better. They're winning every coin flip right now. Tyler Mahle, +1. Didn't I have him going? I think he got kind of robbed here. I did have him for gold originally. I pivoted after his last start because his last start was bad right before. So I said, okay, I'm going to go 79. But he only got one here. That's a little surprising because he was pretty excellent before that. Like there was the one bad outing, but the other ones before that were like really strong. So I thought he had a chance originally to go gold if he had a good start on Tuesday. Dodgers got to him, 12 hits. That really botched things. Oh, and he botches it. Oh, you know what? I guess it kind of makes sense because I was actually looking at it from more of like they also have to kind of catch up a little bit. Because he had two great starts against Arizona where he had 22 strikeouts, 2 walks, 8 hits in 15 innings. But then he adds the LA start with 12 hits. Then all of a sudden you're talking 20 hits in 21 innings, 26 Ks, three walks. So they gave him +4 on the walks. Nothing on the Ks though is a little curious. I think that's a little curious. 11.1. Yeah, he could have gone back into the 70s on the Ks. It might have still only gotten him to like 78. But anyway, we've been down the Molly train before, guys. You can barely start him at home. I know he had reeled off some good starts at home, but I'm still terrified of him anytime he pitches at home. So the fact that he had that bad start really bums me out, because now we got to do it all over again. And if you remember Tyler Mahle from last year, every time we got close, he was right there with a dud start to fuck it up. So I'm not investing. You guys can do so at your own risk. Framber Valdez, Michael Wacha, Valdez is kind of the best version of the Perez, Blackburn, and even include Wacha in there too. He's kind of the best version of that profile with a super elite ground ball rate and a bit better stuff than those guys, but he's kind of the king of that group, and none of them are really great bets for gold. Barrios gets Nooch, Taiwan Walker +3 into silver. Let's go. Big Taiwan Walker fan. Not sure he's got enough Ks to go gold. In fact, I'm quite certain he doesn't right now, but always rooting for him. So we'll keep an eye on him. If he starts pitching well and can threaten gold, we'll get back in. Gibson, Nooch, Gray +1 back to silver. He's been pitching well. Can he stay healthy? Wayno -1. Josiah Gray +1. I like Josiah and John Gray. They're always just like right by each other. They're kind of ranked similarly in fantasy. Now they have the same rating in MLB The Show. It makes sense too. They're not like perfectly similar pitchers, but their overall talent is very similar. Their bottom line talent, I should say. Dane Dunning -1. Jose Suarez just got a position change. Strip a dip +2. He's been pitching very well. Now he's more in this finesse category up here. This is probably his peak. This area is the peak for Stripling. So if you want to invest for him to get 3 more points, you can, but I don't think it's really going to pay. Michael Lorenzen -1. Keegan Thompson loses 1 as well. Detmers and Wood Nooched. Dude, Alex Wood, yesterday was rough, man. If you guys saw that, let me give you the rundown of how things unraveled for him in the second inning. It was crazy. You look at the box score and you're like, oh, this guy got fucking tattooed. Like, holy shit, Alex Wood, so crappy. Because he had 1 inning, 6 runs. He didn't get a single out in the second inning, so it was only 1 inning of work. Second inning goes walk, infield single, walk, single, hit by pitch, infield single. Disaster. I'm not saying that he didn't contribute to any of that. I'm just saying, like, that is just the nut low outcome you can have there. No, I'm not suggesting he was good, but he was not as bad as that ended up being. His velo was down, his changeup wasn't working, but he got literally the worst case outcome that you can get for that. He got the absolute worst case outcome. What's Kyle Gibson's square footage mode per inning rating? It's definitely elite. That's a throwback joke from my podcast that I don't have enough time to explain, but I love that you got it, J-Hook. Ian Anderson and Urquidy. Oh, man, we're not doing the Anderson thing again this year. Anderson, Urquidy, Wood, Detmers, Thompson, they all kind of live in this area too. This is kind of probably their peak. Of course, if you can get to that area, you do have a chance at gold, but we're a long way from that. I don't see any of these guys as viable investments right now to hold on to. Ranger Suarez loses 2. He did have a good start yesterday. Of course, that did not count. He might jump back into silver at some point, but no reason to invest. Position change and upgrade for Jalen Beeks gets him a +8. Cap goes down 2. Irvin Nooched. Bumgarner -1. If I see somebody worth investing in, I'll stop and mention. Bruce Zimmerman -2. Gonzalez Nooch. Quintana 1. Eric Fetty loses 1. Here we go. Rosie Contreras. Very impressive Pirates prospect here, who they should just basically turn loose the rest of the year. He should get plenty of opportunity to pitch. He's got great stuff. Going to be super volatile. We got to get him to silver before we can worry about gold, But if you want a bronze that's some long-term, just set it and forget it, don't worry about these shares for a couple updates, Rosie Contreras is a good one. Graham Ashcraft has a little bit of that appeal too, not to the same degree as Contreras. Ashcraft is a more refined pitcher, but his overall skill set is not nearly as good. He doesn't have the same kind of swing and miss that Rosie does. But he does have better than a 39 K9 potential. He's shown flashes. Like, he throws a 98 mile an hour sinker. Ashcraft has some decent stuff, but when you have a 98 mile an hour sinker, you don't really go for strikeouts. You're fine with guys just smashing it into the ground, 2 pitches into the at-bat, and boom, you're done. So I don't think he's going to have some big strikeout surge, but he can get better than 5.1, and that would really help him get to silver, and then from there, we can see if anything else pops up. But between the two, obviously, I would like Rosie a lot more. Garcia and Brisky have been doing yeoman's work for the Tigers, but neither are investable. Mitch Keller finally getting some results to go with his new velo boost. I still don't see much worth investing in, even for like silver necessarily. Sheffield, Davies, Green, Adon, Winkowski, Castano, Packy, Naughton. Don't really see much there. Bolaños and Perez, nothing. Bitch Keller is just out here trying to figure out that velo. Jared Eichhoff comes in as a silver, as a new starter. Giles is back. He's a silver at 79. Leclerc's a 78. Mengden with his dope mustache and windup. Bunch of new relievers. Going into the RP, AJ Minter gets +1. AJ Minter does have diamond potential this year, y'all. He has been incredible, and honestly, he's been looking great going back to the playoffs last year. And he's having his best year yet. 1.5 walk rate has been the biggest part. He's always been a big strikeout guy, but he walks everybody usually. Cutting his walk rate down this year has really put him on track to possibly get diamond. So if you've got Minter, hold for diamond. I think he's got a good shot. Michael King could get there as well. He's been one of the flashier middle relievers this year to pop up. Everyone kind of knows who he is now after maybe not knowing about Michael King coming into the year. He has stayed great. 12.2 K, 2.3 walk, 6.1 hits. He could get to diamond as well if you want to hold. Relievers are tough to get there, but I think all 4 of these top guys, even Devin Williams, could get all the way back there. We know Devin Williams has a one-track path to diamond. He has to fix the walk rate. These other guys, they're a bit more maneuverable because they've actually got a decent BB9, so they've got different avenues that they can get. But Dev, the only way he's getting 5 more points is if he greatly improves his walk rate. So I would invest in Minter, King, and Duran, but not necessarily Dev right now. You probably did invest in him to go back to gold, which did seem like he had a great shot to do. So he's back after just one update. I had him going 81. He only went 80. 14.1 K, 2.8 walks. I thought they might give him a little bit more on the walk rate, but slow burn. They're not sold by just a couple weeks of good walk rate, which I understand. Brooks Rayleigh. Wow, he came out as an 80. The pride that must be coursing through his veins. Man, does it get better than an 80 for Brooks Rayleigh? I don't know what kind of pride he will have telling people about this, but I'd be pretty prideful if I went 80 as Brooks Rayleigh. If I was Brooks Rayleigh, I'd be like, yo, I'm out, and I'm an 80. I'm gold, baby. Look at how much pride I have about being an 80. I'd be like, Brooks, I get it, dude. You're very proud. You're out. And you're very proud about being a gold. I totally get it, Brooks. That's good. You should be. Daniel Hudson, I had him going 79. He got there. He got to gold, so that's good. I thought the 9.6 hit 9. I thought he would get nooched, but I did have him as a hold for gold. So if you liked him, you still should have invested, of course. That's not me trying to cover my ass either. I had him as 79. I did not get it, but I usually put the little hashtag H4G because that's hold for gold. That means I'm still totally in, even if I don't think they were getting it this week. Yeah, for Rayleigh and Springs to come out in the same week, Jason Adam has to be so proud of them. They both came out together as 80s. That's pretty huge. Hector Neris loses 1 down to a 78. Michael Fulmer +2. Michael Fulmer could definitely get gold. He's been great. You see the ERA is absolutely minuscule there. Oh, that's fair, Eric. But obviously, like I said earlier, ERA is not what we're judging on this card here. So he needs to improve either the strikeout or the walk rate, or both, really. Either or there. He's got a combo. He's got two avenues to get to gold. I do think Fulmer's a nice hold for gold. Montero loses one. By the way, keep an eye on Montero for fantasy, y'all. Presley got blasted yesterday, and he's been looking a bit wobbly over this last couple week period. It seems like we're having some wobbles every once in a while here. Let me look at the game log. Let me see if I'm talking completely out my ass. I got him on my team, on my main event team, but I feel like he'd actually had a pretty decent run there before getting blasted in New York. He had 5 straight gems with 4 saves. He gave up runs at the beginning of June, 2 outings in a row at Oakland, at KC. This is Ryan Presley I'm talking about. And then he had this dud. So I don't think he's on any sort of trouble. It was a very bad outing, but it's one outing. So if you want to go get Montero, if you have Presley, or if you're just desperate for saves, you could go get Montero now and just hold, because they showed that he's the guy when Presley was injured. So I think he would be the guy if they obviously started to make a move away from him. But I do think Presley's still going to be fine. Just plan, because you never know. Stanek goes +2. Bass gets nooched. Eli Morgan's been awesome this year. He's going into the relief role. They like him as a 2-3 inning guy. They tried to start him last year, and he always seemed to have a dud inning at some point. And, sometimes he'd go 3-4 great innings. Then it was that 4th or 5th that really got him. He'd just run out of gas, and he was awful in that inning. So it would ruin the whole start. Well, they realized, hey, how about 2 to 3 innings? That should work. And he's been awesome. I actually think Eli Morgan has a good shot at going gold this year. I got Eli Morgan as an official hold for gold now that he's silver. Adam Ottavino +2 goes to 76 and gets to silver. Poche +1. Diego Castillo -1. Andrew Chafin nooched. Yimmy nooched. Boxberger -1. Loop -2. McHugh -1. Evan Phillips +2. I think he's come all the way from common. He's been a great find for the Dodgers since last year. He should get silver soon. I think he's actually got a chance at gold too. If he gets more volume, that would obviously help speed up the process. Hentges is another one that didn't quite work as a starter, and he's finding some success as reliever, because relieving is easier. So when you shave down the workload that you need from these guys, and they can kind of turn it loose, boom, good things happen. And Hentges and Eli Morgan have been great for them out of the bullpen. Darren O'Day -4 after such an athletic play too. Joe Mantiply gets +5, good for him. Matt Bush +1. Maitan -1. Oh, so we're in the bronze tier here. Until I see somebody that really piques my interest, I'm not going to get too worried. Brock Burke has been crazy good. If he keeps up at the rates that he has, he'll go silver, and he even could threaten gold. I like Brock Burke as a deep hold for gold. Be prepared to wait. I'm talking like 3 updates type, but he's got the skills this year. He's been pitching brilliantly for Texas. Felix Bautista gets a nice, healthy kind of rerun of his entire card. He's nasty, and he's so imposing. He's got that Lee Smith kind of vibe where you're just like, fuck, man, this guy's going to throw 100 at my face. Corey Knebel gets destroyed. Oh, my God. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but holy crap. Steve Okert, lefty killer. Brusdar Gratterall, man. One day, hopefully he learns how to get strikeouts with his nasty, nasty stuff. But until then, he's going to be more like raw stuff than actual talent, or than actual results, because his talent is excellent. Again, looking for somebody worth investing in. Will Vest has been good for the Tigers. I could actually see him getting a silver down the line if you like micro investments. The glitch, Jimmy Herget, looking like me out there on the mound with his glasses. I like the glitch. Penn Murphy's been nasty. Interesting thing about Penn Murphy, I kind of just prejudged or assumed when I saw his results. I was like, oh, this guy's a beast, man. He must be one of those, just kind of standard. The standard issue reliever these days is like 96 heater, fucking gross wipeout slider. Like that's kind of your standard issue stud reliever. My man throws 89. He does have a great slider that is driving his success here, but does not have that prototypical reliever velo that you would expect from such excellent performance here. But he's been wonderful. Yeah, it's will invest. That's right. Again, if we see anybody here that like really jumps out, I've always been a Johan Oviedo fan. I wouldn't really invest in anybody down this low, though. Let's move over to closer. Edwin Diaz gets there. I really thought he should have gotten there last time. That's okay. SDS, you made up for it by bumping him to 86. So he was investable pretty much up through this morning. I think most people just thought he was going 85, and that's one dynamic that is definitely taking some time to get used to. I used to just say if they were going to go gold, who cares if I'm right on 81 or 82? If they're going gold, I just put 80 on my sheet. That's all I used to care about. Now, I'm trying to be a lot more precise because of those extra stubs. And if somebody really has a chance to go 81, 82, that really can add to their value. Because I still think the market as a whole still kind of acts like, okay, they're just going to go gold, then they're just 80. And they don't really get to give consideration. They're going to go diamond, okay, then they're just 85. Well, what about the guy who might go 86, 87? So Diaz goes up a little bit more there. Well-deserved, too. He's been very diamondy all year. Taylor Rogers gets nooched. Iglesias, he was our other quick returner. He lost diamond last update, said, I don't really like this. I'd like to be diamond again, and went out and beasted. Helsley gets +1. I had it, and then I changed it. He'd only had 4 outs. It was 8 outs. He'd only accumulated 8 outs for the period going into Tuesday, and I'd done the sheet before that. So I was like, only 8 outs, but 5 were strikeouts, 0 hits, 1 walk. I think he gets +1, but it's too small of a sample. So we'll just go +1. Then he had 2 strong innings on Tuesday. And I was like, well, that's going to count. I'm going to go ahead and put him to diamond. And they gave him +1 only. So that's kind of a bummer, but we're still diamond hands on Helsley without a doubt. We're also diamond hands on David Bednar. He's been brilliant for the Pirates. He's been absolutely excellent. I did have Kenley getting back. I thought he was another one who would get back after you losing diamond last update. 12.6 K, 0 walks, 5.4 hits. I thought the BB9 would drive it. In fact, they only gave him BB9, and they hit his clutch a little bit. I bet you it was that damn clutch. Now I'm going to blame the clutch. I just said earlier how it doesn't really move the needle that much. Now I'm going to pretend that it cost him diamond. Clay Holmes has been a god for the Yankees this year. +2. He's on diamond watch now. Plain and simple. When you're 2 points away, you're there. Emmanuel Clase is starting to get his strikeouts back again, y'all, which does put him in diamond watch. He needs to get Ks to do it. He's been looking pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusting lately. He looked really good in that Minnesota series. That was a hell of a series, by the way. Stretching back now to about May 17th. So mid-May, 11.1 Ks for Clase. So that's pretty good. I'd like to see even higher than that, of course. No, none of these 0 strikeout outings. Come on, Emmanuel. No, I'm just kidding. He's great though too, and he has such devastating stuff that he can have like a 3-pitch save. He just throws 3 of those fucking 100-mile-an-hour cutters, breaks 3 bats, and goes home. And it's like, that was brilliant, that was dominant, but no strikeouts. So it's like, I get it. I understand why he doesn't have strikeouts when they're low, but man, he's got the stuff to just miss tons of bats too. So I like Clase as a long-term investment because they'll take probably 2 updates. A reliever will likely not get 3 to go to diamond. They can get 3 if they're a lower tier, but to go 82 to 85 as a reliever on 1 update, that seems unlikely. They would move him to 84 and then say, hey, do 2 more weeks and we'll get you into diamond. Has Clase ever been diamond? He peaked at gold last year, right? I can't remember. I really can't remember. Paul Sewald, nooched. Jason Adam, he stayed in. He didn't want to be gold. He didn't come out. Probably wanted to, but, it's a personal journey. Sir Anthony Dominguez +2. He's been wonderful. I think he's definitely going gold soon. Stick tight on Sir Anthony Dominguez. He looks like peak Sir Anthony again. And I'm here for it. I've always liked Sir Anthony Dominguez. It's a kick-ass name, that's why. Plus, he's awesome. Like, Come on. That's an elite closer name. Like, he should be an elite closer with a name like Sir Anthony Dominguez. Come on. Daniel Bard +3 gets back to silver, puts himself on the gold cusp. Jorge Lopez +3 puts himself in the gold conversation as well. Now, probably around where Lopez peaks specifically. I think Bard has a better chance to get there. He's a bit more dominant. You see the 11.5 K9 versus the 9.3 for Lopez. They're both in the mix. I don't think I would invest in either, though. First off, I would never invest in a Colorado pitcher. What am I, an idiot? And Lopez, like, I respect what he's doing. He's throwing 100-mile-an-hour sinkers this year. He looks great. But that walk rate can still be sketchy. I'm good. But he has been good this year. He is going to get traded soon, too. I wonder if it'll be to close or to set up somewhere that already has a closer. -3 for Kimbrel. Ouch. -1 for Jordan Romano. He has just been, like, look at his bottom line numbers are still good. 2.16 ERA, 108 whip, 29 strikeouts in 25 innings. So it's not like he's garbage or anything like that. He just hasn't been as over-the-top dominant as I thought he would be, and I thought he pushed a gold a long time ago. Kendall Graven -1. He will be closing for the foreseeable future with Hendricks out. Doval gets nooched. Tanner Scott +3 and gets his shift over to closer. AJ Puck +2. I like AJ Puck a lot. Melanson -3 and Bennett Sousa position changed into closer, even though he's not going to be the closer with Hendricks out. Oh, were there any new closers? No. No new catchers either. Will Smith +1 up to 84. This is not that surprising. I figured this would be the case because he only hit like 250 against righties, and that's his biggest weakness. They did give him a +1, but he also didn't have much power with a -3 power against righties. So he's right there. Obviously, if you're in on Will Smith, you got to be diamond hands and hang on. Same with Contreras. I had Contreras getting nooched because of his numbers against righties. He's still crushing lefties, but it was only 10 plate appearances. So that's why I didn't think he would necessarily go diamond just yet. Travis d'Arnaud, I overshot it. I had 83 for him. I thought he was fucking killing it, and we were hoping for a defensive boost. I think that would have helped there too. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll send a little note over there, just see if I can help at all. I'm not miracle worker. They don't do everything I say. They don't give a shit. You know, I don't want to phrase it like that either. That makes it sound like they are rude to me. No, they're awesome over there. Rory and the team, they read my stuff. They care when I bring them stuff from the community. So I'll make the case for d'Arnaud's defense, and we'll see if we can get that boosted because he's been very good. And I don't think he should necessarily be diamond, but I think he should be closer to an 83. Alejandro Kirk, I think he just hit 5 more homers while we've been doing this because he's been out of his mind lately. Alejandro Kirk is absolutely tearing the cover off the ball. He deserved this. He gets +2, gets a nice big clutch and discipline boost. I didn't have him getting to gold just yet. I got to be honest, I didn't know they were going to do a discipline and clutch boost. He got the contact and power versus lefty. The contact versus righty, power versus lefty. That alone didn't do it. He needed the extra peripheral stuff there, but you should have been invested in him anyway, even if you did like him, because with as well as he's been playing, we knew that he was going to be on the gold cusp either way if he didn't get it this time. So hopefully you were in on Kirk if you liked him now that he is gold. Jonah Heim gets there too. He gets a healthy boost against lefties. Really, really nice. He also has that brilliant defense, so that really helps Jonah Heim. I was not on him, to be honest. So I totally missed this one, but I'm glad he got it. He's been really good, and he's been great for fantasy purposes too. Sal Perez loses 2 and comes out of the gold tier. JT Rio Muto is now a silver. He has quietly been terrible. Now, the reason I think it's been quiet and I haven't really noticed it is because he has 4 homers and 8 steals, and in fantasy, that's still going to make you a pretty good catcher. Catcher's just not good enough for him not to still rank as a pretty solid catcher. -3 for Varsho. He's been in a cold spell. I wonder how much of that was him playing catcher and if that bothered him or not. I don't know. I'm speculating. I'm actually going to look it up, see how he did while he was catching. Because Kelly was out for a bit and he had to go behind the dish. And for those that don't know, Varsho is not good at catching. He can't really blame it on that. He had a 772 OPS as a catcher. That's perfectly fine. 829 as a center fielder, 634 as a DH. and 394 as a right fielder. That's only 33 plate appearances, but for some reason, my man hates right field. Oof. Chat wisely points out that Salvi is a BR god now as a 79. That is absolutely true. Same with Varsho, too. Jose Trevino, +2. He's now in the gold range, y'all. He's been playing very well. Vasquez, +2. Same with Sean Murphy. So they're all 78s. I would rank them as they're listed here in terms of gold potential. Trevino, Vasquez, and then Murphy. And frankly, I would bring William Contreras into that group, and I would move him second behind Trevino. Stassi -2, Molina -4, +3 for Bethancourt. He's been playing very well lately, getting some major playing time. He has 4 steals as a catcher, which is huge. So he's made himself quite fantasy viable right now, too. He and Melendez both joined the silver ranks. Between the two, obviously, I like Melendez a good bit better. Big-time prospect. But I'm not going to sleep on Bethancourt completely. Now, he has a 645 OPS for the year, so let's not overstate it. He's had a little bit of a heater that has earned him some fantasy intrigue and, gotten him into the silver realm for MLB The Show. He's been a known strikeout commodity, though. In fact, pretty much since this the hot streak cooled down, he struck out 9 times in his last 25 at-bats, 26 plate appearances. So that's a 35% K rate. There's a lot of volatility here. I would not really invest in Bethancourt for anything beyond what we've seen here. As Melendez, though, you can hold for gold. It'll be long term, but I do think you can hold for gold with him. Elias Diaz loses 2. He's actually starting to get hot, though, so maybe he can reverse that next time around. Alfaro had a big spring training, and he's been kind of keeping it going here. 799 OPS is not too bad, and he's earning more playing time. Jeffers, Caratini, Hedges, Raleigh. None of these guys really jumping out. Michael Perez. Brian Serven gets a nice full update there based on his production thus far. He's been great. I would say Cal Raleigh's interesting too. His batting average is dreadful. You can see it 186, but he's got real power, and I can definitely see him getting to silver. And if he can fix the batting average at all, he'll go gold. He could go gold as well too. I shouldn't say he will, but he's got a silver opportunity with gold potential for Raleigh, but it's a long way out. Let's just say that. Scuffy and Smith, thank you guys so much for the resubs. Moving on to first base. Oh, wow. They're really taking this Thor thing to the max. They even gave fake Thor a card. Bravo, MLB The Show. That's something. I like that. I like that they got them in on it, because that's going to really sell it, that this isn't just Noah Syndergaard. Because it is. It 1000% is. And then, I don't know if you guys saw the badass deep fake that they had too, which I was really impressed by. Again, this stuff, like, they're going above and beyond for this gag, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good gag. But they did this deep fake here where they made it look like there was 2 people. Look at this. So that, like, look at that. Like, you would think that that's 2 separate people. But that's just Thor twice. Like, it's green screen or something. Like, there's a VFX thing going on. I respect it, but, like, I didn't fall for it. And then they let Thor bat, and they're like, David McKinnon or something. Like, they don't even know. That's not even how you fucking spell McKinnon. They put a random space in the middle. Like, they're trying. I respect the effort. That's the thing. It's pretty obvious to anyone paying attention that it's Thor, but when they put that much effort into it and they get MLB The Show in on the mix, hats off. I mean, come on. I respect that. Goldie should be a 99 already. Come on. Vlad gets 2 more, or re-earns 2, right? He lost a few last time. Pete Alonso +1. He's a god. CJ Crone -1. The first time he's been downgraded. Holy smokes. Anthony Rizzo gets +2. I think I had him for +3, but I'll take +2. That works too. He's been awesome. He's been absolutely incredible. What did I have Rizzo down for? Yeah, +3. I had him going to 84. Again, I'll take +2 here. The thing of it is, he's been crushing righties and lefties. That's why I thought he might go all the way up to an 84. But he is setting himself up to return to Diamond. Ty France -1. What's the latest on his wrist, by the way? I saw that he got hurt fielding a play, like doing the old first base. They reach out and they run into the arm type deal, and it looked bad. But I haven't followed up on it. Let me see right now real quick. X-ray negative on his elbow. Hopefully it's all right, man. Fucking Ty France finally having a breakout year, and that's what happens. Damn. Christian Walker gets into gold, +3. He owns lefties, y'all. But I'm a right-hander, and I feel like I can get him out. Either he'd hit a homer or he'd get out, because he doesn't get base hits off of righties. No singles for him. He ain't going to the club. No singles. If the hits start to fall, there is a world where Christian Walker could go diamond. I would not invest for it, though. I do think it's a pretty big long shot. But if you start to see the base hits trickling in against righties, jump in. That's the key. He has to get that batting average up against righties or else there's no shot. Josh Bell, now he is just as far away as Walker, but I like his opportunity to maybe go diamond a bit better. He's also a long shot. When you're 4 points away, you've got a long way to go. I grant that. I think he's more of a well-rounded hitter, though, Josh Bell. So between the two, I would invest in Bell over Walker. Mountcastle +2, he gets into gold. Between the three, I would go Mountcastle, Bell, Walker. Abreu gets nooched, loses a bunch against lefties. Speaking of BR gods, Matty O is now a silver. That's going to be fun. I'll definitely use him in BR. But yeah, he just hasn't been as strong as he was when the season first started. And so he loses silver. Keep an eye on him. Let his price bottom out and then jump back in, because I do think he'll return to gold at some point this year. Best player in the universe, only a silver? Okay, MLB The Show. Okay, I see. Let's bring out the real Luis Ariz now. Where's the 99? Come on. You had your fun. I fell for the Thor gag and then this. That's fine. Oh, where am I on a hidden camera or something? What is it? Come on. Bring out the 99 Luis Ariz. Absolute God. Jokes aside, I don't know that he can go to gold. I really don't, unless he starts hitting against righties or lefties, excuse me, because he ain't gonna bring power. I know he's got 3 homers or 4 even, but it's hard to get him to gold because he's a slappy. Garrett Cooper +1. Garrett Cooper got to stay healthy, but he does have enough hitting to possibly go gold. +3 for Rhys Hoskins, brought himself back into the gold conversation. We know his kind of power can put him in gold. He vacillates between silver and gold like 4 times every season. Jared Walsh is basically left-handed Rhys Hoskins. Trey Mancini loses 3. That's tough. He was on the cusp, and then he goes way down. Look for a summer surge from him, but until then, no need to invest. Max Muncy -3. That elbow's just killing him. Rowdy Tellez has been rough since that big Cincinnati series. Nathaniel Lowe, big fan of Nathaniel Lowe. Wish he could lift the ball a little bit more, really tap into his power. But he's a good player. He will get silver again at some point. -2 for Hosmer. Aw, dang. G-Man Choi +1. Miggy -2. And Tyler Nevin nooched. No new second baseman. Altuve -1. Jazz, Edman, and Jimenez all nooched. Marcus Semien +1. It'd be a pretty hot take to say Semien goes diamond again at some point this year. I don't believe it, so I'm not going to say it. It's in the cards, but I don't believe it. Again, I don't want to just say something for like a Hail Mary trying to, get it right. And then I can be like, oh, see, I got that. And then if nothing comes of it, then I just never bring it up. It's like what I don't want to do one of those where it's like a no risk call. So we'll just keep close tabs on Semien. He's been playing so much better lately, though, too. So I will at least acknowledge that. McNeil gets +2 up to an 81. And Cronenworth gets +2 to an 80. So 2 new gold second basemen there. We had McNeil going 82, so I sold it a little. I went a little too high on it, but we'll take the 81. That certainly helps. And then the Crone Zone, I had him going 81, and I was 1 too high as well. So that's all right. I thought because both lefties were crushing lefties, I thought they had a chance to really get the love. Marte gets nooched. Trevor Story -3. Man, talk about running hot cold. Couldn't have been colder to start the year. Was the hottest player for a 10-day period, and he's gone cold again. So he's just ping-ponging between silver and gold. Torres gets +2 back into silver, starting to tap into some of that power again. John Birdie has been the steals god. You see they put base running aggressiveness up to 99 for him. he's been awesome, and he's actually hitting well too. So good for him. I think silver, of course, is his peak, but he did get there. Same with Guillorme, similar type guys. They're both similar to Arise as well. Arise is kind of playing the highest end of that profile, aka Stephen Kwan. +1 for Gavin Lux, +2 for Luis Garcia. Luis Garcia could be a quick silver next week, and then I could see gold for him. Remember, this guy's a big-time prospect. He was kind of forgotten despite the fact that he's 22 years old. But fantasy, that's the fantasy community in a nutshell, man. We are good at finding talent, like as a group, because they turn over anything that you can for fantasy talent. It's like people in fantasy are good at identifying like mid-tier prospects who can be better, all that sort of stuff. But if a prospect comes up and he's not a god day one, oh my God, you would think he's never played baseball. Like he just has the plague. And that was Luis Garcia coming into this year. He had 386 plate appearances of a 79 WRC plus, and you would have thought that he like murders puppies in his off time. Just an afterthought. Nobody talking about him. So he had a badass AAA. He was killing it down there. He had a 154 WRC plus in AAA. Or excuse me, that was 154 at AAA last year. 134 this year, still excellent. And so far this year, he's come up and had a 121 WRC plus. So Luis Garcia hitting well, could definitely be a summer gold. Cesar Hernandez -2, Peterson +2, Mateo -2, Tucupita Marcano +6. That's a big boost. That's a nice kind of overhaul. Nolan Gorman got a bit of an overhaul as well, +5. Vidal Brujan +1, and Keston Hira +2. Moving over to third base, Buddy Kennedy is the only noob. Nolan Arenado, nooched. Devers finally gets the dime. I say finally. I just feel like he should have gone last time, but he goes this time. That's what, we stayed the course. We stayed the course on that one. He's been great. Brandon Drury +1. There is a world where he can go diamond because he has enough power to do it, but it would have to come against righties. He'd have to get a lot better against righties. I would not invest in Brandon Drury for diamond. I had a bunch for gold. I've already sold. Austin Riley gets nooched. Bregman -3. I think he had a home run the other day. It was after the update, of course. But, I get it. But the funny thing is, despite the fact that, there are reasons to kind of be ho-hum about what Bregman's doing this year, there's also the fact that he's still a easy plus bat. He has a 125 WRC plus. Now, that's built off of the OBP. And I don't say that to shade him or anything. But the 353 OBP is doing a lot of the work. He does still have a 174 ISO, which is not eye-popping, but it is 22 points higher than last year. So he's been better. The 234 average is ugly. He doesn't steal any bases, of course. So the fantasy people are kind of feeling that they're not getting much, but he's been fine, and he still has amazing plate skills, more walks than strikeouts. I still see a 3 to 5 week summer heater coming for Bregman. I really do. So I will wait for the price to bottom out here in silver, and I'll be investing in Bregman. McMahon loses 1. Bobby Whit Jr. gets +3. He's now in the hold for gold realm. I don't know where his price lies, though. I know when the season was first starting, his price was way too high because everyone was just excited about him. He did get 99 speed, by the way. So his price should be kind of standard for a new silver now. I definitely think you can hold for gold with Whit. He's a bit of a risk for sure because he strikes out a lot. He will have volatility, but the raw skills are so strong that he definitely has gold upside. Cabrizi gets blasted, -4, loses his gold. Rojas -2, Luis Arias -4. Urshela -3. Damn, these guys got destroyed. Paredes +4. Power off the charts lately. But you see he's hitting 182, so it's how high can he really go? He's selling out for the power, too. He has a 53% fly ball rate. He's just I'm just trying to go bridge every time. Cardinals Devil Magic. Brendan Donovan, the latest Devil Magic. He's been awesome. 410 OBP. That's so good. 418 slug. Not much for the power. So, he can get silver, but that's really the max. When you have no power, it's really hard to go gold. Moncada, what's his deal, man? He's just not good. And it's a bummer. Because I like Yohan Moncada. And I loved his 2019 breakout, but it might have been rabbit ball inflated. JD Davis -4. Oof. Christopher Morel kind of coming back to earth a little bit, gets a -1. Not too worried. Still good for fantasy, by the way. Still running, has some pop, so I wouldn't worry about it from that standpoint. Jake Burger getting a little bit of love, getting out of the common realm into the bronze. Really like Jake Burger. Got hit in the hand the other day, which really sucked because it looked like it was pretty bad. Like he was feeling it. Came out of the game. I think he's been back and even has hit a home run since, I believe. I'm checking my work on that. Maybe not. I don't know if he's hit a homer. But, Moncada just hit the IL, too. So that's actually going to free up Burger's playing time, too, for anybody that was maybe concerned about him starting to lose playing time as they get other guys back. That's the thing. Whenever they get somebody back, somebody else seems to go on the IL right after. Oh, he hit a triple since he got hit. It was a triple the next day that I remembered from Burger. Shortstops. No new shortstops. Trey Turner +1. Nico -1. Same with Lindor. Nico, I can't believe how close he is to Diamond. I still don't really trust. Like, I'm not investing in him for Diamond just because his hitting is just not that good. The defense and speed, means you don't have to be that great of a hitter. I understand that, but I'm not really investing in him. Lindor's been fine this year. He's been better than he was last year, but still not like rabbit ball Lindor. Bogey, Correa, Bichette, and Adames all get nooched. Honestly, any of that group has like legitimate Diamond upside. So, kind of choose your own adventure type of deal. Obviously, you got to wait longer with Bichette or Adames, but then Bogarts and Correa are going to be more expensive. So all four have it. Study those guys and see who you like the best there. But they all four have the Diamond upside. And frankly, I did not think I'd be saying that this year, but so does Dansby Swanson. You can't get him out right now. You can't get him out. 2 more homers yesterday. That will be on the next update already. I mean, unreal. Unreal right now. He's been wonderful. Whoops. +1 for Pena. He'll eventually go gold. Just stay the course with him. I know he's nicked up right now, but he'll be fine. -1 for Baez. Tough scene because he's actually playing some of his best ball lately, but it might be reflected next update. Plus, he's doing a lot of it against lefties, and so until he does something against righties, nothing to really be that excited about. Ha-Seong Kim gets nooched. Farmer gets a +1. I love the tops now, but I just don't think Live Series is really gold worthy. +1 for Rosario, 2 for Estrada, -2 for Crawford. He has fallen off from his early season pace. 3 for Cruz, man. They gave him some speed and arm off rip. I love that because that first game that he had, he set records. And they okay, we're not going to go too crazy. He only has 4 games of batting, so they can't do anything for that. But they gave him a fat arm and speed update. Well done on that. Well done, SDS. And now he's definitely a hold for gold potential, depending on where his price is at. If you already have some, obviously hold. If not, he's probably priced too high. I don't know where he's at right now. My guess is he's probably priced too high because people love O'Neal Cruz. Orlando Arcia +3. He's hitting very well. He was hitting well at AAA too. In fact, he was hitting well at AAA last year, and I thought he had a chance to maybe make an impact last season when he got an opportunity. It wasn't to be, but now he gets another opportunity this year because of the Albies injury. I kind of like Arcia, man. He's 27 years old. He's still got a lot of talent. He had some good seasons in Milwaukee. I'm going to go out on a limb here and call Arcia a long-term hold for gold. I really think he's got the opportunity to get there. Didi -2, loses his silver. Danny Mendick, man, this sucks because he was playing really well and had some opportunity, and then he got hurt the other day, and I think he went on the IL, so that really bites. Bryson Stott +1, Diego Castillo, the other one. Both Diego Castillos are in this update. Gets -2 for him. Matt Reynolds +3, and Velasquez nooched. We go to left field. Sean Bouchard is the only newbie. +4 for Alvarez. They gave him some love, y'all. Holy shit. That is clean. Austin Hayes -1. He's still in the diamond realm. Obviously, he's sitting there at an 83. I've been really impressed by Hayes. Of all the guys who I could have thought would touch diamond this year, or would be in the diamond potential. I don't know. Hayes would have been so low on my list. So low. Andrew Vaughn, talking about guys you can't get out right now. Multi-hit games left and right. The breakout looks here, y'all. The breakout looks like it's coming with Andrew Vaughn. I like him to threaten diamond. I would be in on this. I would absolutely be in on this and just hold. And yeah, Hayes also hit a cycle in 6 innings, by the way. I was wondering, I was like, how the hell did I miss Vaughn, of all people? Well, it's because he wasn't that great this period. It was just that they gave him vision, discipline, and clutch. So a miss is a miss. Again, I never bring that stuff up to be like, I actually got it right. No, I'll take the L's, but I'm kind of like reviewing my work. It's like, okay, why did I miss? So I don't ever want it to be seen as like excuse making. I'm not trying to go 100%. I mean, I'd love to, but it's not realistic. So I'm not worried. What I should say is I'm not worried about going 100%. I would love to. I'm always trying to be right. But yeah, I probably should have had him for at least a couple because, and I didn't even have him on the list. So I will eat the L on that one outright because he did have a 1040 OPS against righties with a 415 batting average. So I did miss that for sure. He didn't do much against lefties, but it was a small sample. That's why it doesn't matter. But then they gave him the secondary stat updates, and he got up to an 81. So he looks great. Yeah, 21 points against righties. That probably did 2 points of the upgrade itself, I would say. -2 for Jock. He's just too volatile to invest in for Diamond. I hope nobody did that. +1 for Tyler O'Neill, I guess. JD Nooched. Hap +2. Pham +2. Hap to gold, by the way. Pham +2. Pham could go gold at some point, but I don't know. I don't want to invest in him and then have him fucking slap me or something. Gurriel +1, Brantley +1, Taylor Nooched, and a Rosarena Nooched. So, looking at this page here, Schwarber 1, Kutch -1, Tapia, and Thomas +1. So this group here, my favorite gold potentials are Gurriel, Schwarber, even though he's 4 points away, and that's really it. Maybe Michael Brantley. Brantley flirts with gold consistently, but I would only invest in Gurriel and Schwarber right now. On this page, by the way, as far as Diamond outside of Hayes, because of course he's 2 points away, so he's in the Diamond picture. The only other guy I'd really consider for Diamond is Vaughn. Like, I love JD, but he hasn't had the power this year. He could get there if he has a home run spurt, so I'll include him, but he's well below Vaughn in terms of guys I would invest in right now for a long-term Diamond. Harold Ramirez gets +2. He's working his way to silver. Jesse Winker -3. Boy, who could have seen that coming this year? Worst park move in the world, man. Such a bummer, too. Jack Sawinski +2. Ozuna -2. Kwan hit the Kwan with a +1. Basically, Luis Ariz Sr. Aaron Hicks gets a position change and Nooch. Matt Vierling gets a bad update +6. Brandon Marsh Nooched. Larnock Nooched. Yepes +3 and a position change. Cordero +2. Oscar Gonzalez gets the re-rack, as I like to call it, where they just kind of redo the card, get it up to speed, and he gets a +7. He's been hitting well. He does have a sky-high BABIP. The one thing is, though, I hope, based on his talent, that when the BABIP starts to come down, maybe he starts to tap into some more power. Like, base hits are falling right now. I want to see him get into that power. The BABIP is going to come down, though. Look at that. Riley Green coming in as a bronze. I'm cool with that. That's fine. Jonathan Davis and Jacoby Jones. Trout +2. Absolute god. -1 for Judge. How dare they? But I guess he's not hitting lefties very well. +4 for Buxton. He gets a huge jump back to up to 91. Robert -1. Adolis Garcia +3 puts himself right on the doorstep of Diamond. And as much as I'm like, Adolis Garcia as a Diamond is wild to me, the speed and defense are such that I cannot rule it out. Plus, he's 1 point away, like I always say. When you're 1 point away, you're of course in the conversation. But I mean, Oh, yeah, Judge also lost right field. He's center field. I mean, just be careful, y'all. Don't go get like a million Adolis Garcias because we know how cold he can get. So if you want to put a few away in the hopes that he gets diamond, okay. But I'd be very careful here. He's a talented player, but he's volatile because of the swing and miss and the fact that he just does not make enough consistent contact. Sub 300 OBP. Brilliant defender, though. Great speed, so he's going to be out there every single day. He's a good player. I don't know if he's quite diamond, though. And Bader's actually a good analog for him. And between the two, I'd still prefer Bader. I think his bat is a little bit more stable. He has some of the same issues as Garcia, make no mistake about it. I just think he's a bit more stable with his bat. He doesn't have as much power, but I think he's a better contact guy. Springer -1, Kiermaier nooched. Michael A. Taylor gets to gold +2. He's been great. And then Laureano -1. J-Rod gets nooched. How J-Rod gonna get nooched? I guess he just didn't do anything against lefties that really hurt him. That absolutely hurt J-Rod. Just hold for goal with J-Rod. Don't panic. Daza +2. I mean, with that kind of power, I really don't see gold, but he's 1 point away, so I have to entertain it. Alec Thomas. Now, here's a hold for gold. Now, here's a guy I'm definitely holding for gold. Big time Alec Thomas fan. They upgraded his vision, discipline, and clutch. Kind of got his card back in order to go with what he's doing this year. Definitely hold for gold with him. Brandon Nimmo -2. Loses his gold. Brian Reynolds nooched. Albert Almora Jr. showing some pop, by the way. I think he hit his 5th homer recently, too. You see 4 on the board right there. I think he hit one after the update, so +3 for him. I loved him when he was drafted. I thought the Cubs had something very special. Turns out he's more of like a 4th outfielder type, but he's still playing. I think he was drafted back in, see if my memory serves. So he was drafted back in like 16? 12. Damn. Been around for a decade. I wanted to say longer, too. I really did. But I was going to go too far back. I almost said 8, and then I was like, oh, 8's way too far. So then I went to 16, and wouldn't you know, it was right in the middle of the two. But yeah, I thought Almora would just be like a premium center field god with like capable hitting. Not so much. Michael Harris gets a fat boost, a rookie who's been panning out big time. He gets +7. He's looking really nice. Got a great shot to go silver next time, and then I think he's got the skills for hold for gold. So it's a long-term situation, but I definitely think he can get there. Excuse me, I'm trying to talk too fast. De La Cruz -2. Odubel and Robles nooched. Celestino +2 and McKenna +2. And finally, the right fielders. Madris. It's actually Bly, but it looks like Blech. He has not been Blech, though. He's been actually playing pretty well. I'm surprised they brought him in at a 59 with the skills he's been showing. It's 13 at-bats, though, so I get it. I'm just saying I'm surprised, but I get it. Oh, yeah, Soto be our god now that he's not diamond. That's huge. Acuna -1, Harper +2, Tucker +1, Renfroe nooched, Taylor Ward -1. He's been getting back on track though too. I still like Ward as a destined for diamond. I would be hanging on to him for sure. Juan Soto loses diamond. I mean, it's just a nightmare there in Washington right now. I never thought I'd see him hitting 199 this deep into the season. I never thought I would see that. But here we are. It's a bit nerve-wracking because you're like, what's up? Is he broken? He's so good. Marte gets nooched. Teoscar just gets nooched as well. Blackman gets his +1, gets back to gold. Margot nooched. Dylan Carlson +2 into gold. Remember when we were panicked about him earlier? I say we as the general we. I've never been panicked about my boy DC. I did have him going 79, but I did have the hold for gold tag, so hopefully you're in there. I was worried that I was worried that his batting average against righties would be a problem. They actually gave him a +5. I had him, hang on. Did I have the wrong data or something? I thought he did poorly against righties this period. Yeah, he hit 231. Man, how you getting +2 when you hit 231? I don't know. That's all right. Like I said, if I come up short by 1 point on somebody like that, if they're on the sheet with a positive note, I'm telling you to invest. So even if it is a 78 or a 79, I'm still saying I like this guy, and if I put the little hashtag H4G, that means I would like them to go gold eventually. So even though I came up short on Carlson, I stand by it because I don't think he should have been upgraded against righties, but he was, and he got gold now, so that's chill. I ain't mad about it. Josh Naylor, definite hold for gold with him, +1, big fan. Pollock gets nooched. I did kind of see that because he just keeps playing into his strengths and weaknesses. Like that's the problem right now with Pollock. He just keeps crushing lefties and not hitting righties. That's the issue. So we'll see if he can have that sample where he just hits righties just a bit right before the next update. Then he can eventually go gold. Kep Dog loses his gold. He gets blasted. Stanton, man, this was the update of BR gods. They downgraded a bunch of guys who are now BR monsters, including Stanton. Duvall +1. He's killing lefties. -4 for Yaz. Another BR god. I will use Mike Yastrzemski as a silver all day long. Santander, Merrifield, and Gallo all get nooched. Keep an eye on Merrifield. I like Merrifield as a hold for gold, even though he's still not no power. I'm not worried about the power. His batting average has been back on track for his last 40 games. He looks like Whit Merrifield for the last month and a half. I would definitely get Whit Merrifield. Engel -1. Oh, Casty went from 1 BR god level to the higher level because now he's a bronze. He's even more gettable. I'll take him as a fucking common. I don't care. BR god as hell. Jordan Luplow +1. Hunter Dozier nooched. JBJ fixed his vision, by the way. Good for him. I hope everything works out. I hope he beasts out with it. I hope the vision was the key. I love JBJ. He's just never been that great of a hitter, unfortunately. Luis Gonzalez has been playing very well for the Giants. I think he just hit the IL, unfortunately, but he's been great as a fill-in. +1 for Adele, -4 for Grossman, -1 for Pavin Smith, and Girard, I'm not entirely sure how to say that name, Encarnacion, gets +1 as well due to his speed. So there it is. There's the roster update. 4 new diamonds. I think it was 20 new golds. 20 or 21. I can't remember. But a ton. A ton to be sure. Quite a banger. And good on them. They delivered. They delivered a nice one here. Don't always agree with everything. Doesn't matter. They always see things a little bit differently. So a little bit of art, a little bit of science. Very happy with how things went. Hopefully you were in on some good key cards that got you some good stubs. We'll continue to invest here. We're finding ways to expand our bankrolls. I love kind of how the new thing is like going to 86 matters now, and guys going from 79 to 82 is a big deal. So that's kind of become a new market inefficiency that we're trying to be great on. So trying to nail those predictions. When I say somebody's going to go gold or diamond, I want to get it if they're going to be better than the 80 or 85. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Twitch.tv/Spores, where we do these every other Friday. Come through, hang out. You can also come through sometime during the week if you want. Just say what's up. But appreciate y'all, and good luck investing for the next update. Peace.